Yes, guys, and welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, the Game On Challenge, and something of a little bit of a special for you here today. I've done the updates and all that sort of shit, so I wanted to do this, and I think now's the best time. I am going to go through with you where I can recall our managerial records, mine and Matt's, some of which might be vague, some of which won't be. So, we will start with Matt then. Matt started all those seasons ago as Leeds United manager. Now, if I remember rightly, I think I won the title in season 1. Pretty sure that's what happened. I could be wrong. I could check it, but I'm just trying to sort of think off the fly. But for Matt, it was 3 seasons. I think he did win the league after I left Liverpool, and he moved to Paris Saint-Germain. Now, certainly, I think we all remember this, don't we? Anyone that's followed this story will remember this quite clearly. He was dismissed as manager of Paris Saint-Germain at the start of season 5. You can see right there. Was unemployed for 3 months. Over 3 months. So, and I remember Matt saying, I don't know if this is the end of the game for me. But he took Dortmund. Dortmund became available, his very first stint as Dortmund. And it was a long stint as Dortmund, to be honest with you. Just over 3 seasons before going to Ajax. I'm sure he'd have won the title. I pretty much know where he won the title and where he didn't. Same with myself. So PSG, he didn't before sacking. Dortmund, he would have. Ajax, he would have. Inter, he would have. So he went to Inter a season and a half later after Ajax. A season later, went to Real Madrid. 2 seasons later, he went to Manchester United. 3.5 seasons later, he returned to Dortmund. 3.5 seasons. So 3 seasons later, he returned to Paris Saint-Germain. 23rd of April, 2020. 23rd of April. That's St George's Day, isn't it? What a day. Returned to Paris Saint-Germain for unfinished business. And he achieved it because I'm just looking at it though. Yeah, so he'd have played just over a season. But interestingly, right, so in his second stint, the unfinished business, he'd have taken over Paris Saint-Germain and won the title. Now, you could call, we've both done this, right, a couple of cheeky titles, some real cheeky titles, because you could in theory call that a cheeky title because he'd have taken over, because, you know, the transfer merry-go-round is really shit in CM, because he left at the end of October of the following year. So okay. So I went to Milan. Left Milan. Now I was in Milan for a good few years. As you can see, 5 years at Milan before moving to Chelsea. Now Chelsea, 17th of October 2020. He did not win the title at Chelsea. He left over a year later. I know he didn't win the title. He moved to Juventus. And if I remember rightly, Serie B, he got them promoted. He did not win the title at Juventus. I remember this actually. So he didn't win a top flight title until he moved to Barcelona. Barcelona in 2029. He was at Barcelona for 2 years before making a return to AC Milan. Milan, 3 years later, went to PSV for his first stint there. Not even a year later at PSV. 6 months later. No, 8 months later, sorry. That's quite interesting, but I'm surely he would have confirmed the title before he moved to Dortmund. Surely. I can't even remember that. Went to Dortmund. Was at Dortmund for a long period of time, 4 years before going to Roma. Now, Roma, first stint at Roma, he didn't win the title. And in fact, you can tell he didn't win the title because he took over in July 39 and left in February to go to Porto. Porto, I'd say he would have got a title or 2 maybe there at Porto. He moved to Antwerp for a season. I'd say he got a title there. He then moved to HSV. Now, remember that because there was a lot of... No, sorry, tell a lie. He went to Paris Saint-Germain again. Paris Saint-Germain in July 42, and he left a season and a half later to go to HSV. Now, this was interesting because he went to HSV, and I think he had a lot of money in 2044, but he just couldn't do it. I don't think he won the title at HSV. I'm pretty sure he didn't. I'd have to check that. He then went to Bayern Munich. I think that's his first stint as Bayern Munich in July '44. Long stint there, 6.5 seasons before moving to Real Madrid. Real Madrid went to Fulham. Fulham went to River. River to Inter. Inter to Schalke. Schalke to Frankfurt. Frankfurt to Hull City. Hull to Ajax. Ajax to Dortmund. Had an England stint there. Corinthians, Fiorentina, Le Havre, Manchester United, Alanya. Now remember Alanya in Russia, he didn't win the title there. Portsmouth, Manchester United, Roma, Flamengo, Sunderland. Of course, he didn't win the title at Sunderland. And finally, where he currently now sits, Paris Saint-Germain. So, quite a career indeed. And as we fast approach the birthday of both of us, 122 we fast approach. Crazy. Absolutely insane. So, that is Matt's managerial record. Now, let's go to the other legend. Let's go to myself. And where it all began. It began at Liverpool. Of course it began at Liverpool. And we left Liverpool after 2 years. Now, I'm trying to think back. I think I won it season 1, the league. And I didn't win it season 2. I think Matt won it season 2. I won the Champions League season 2, I think. We moved to Paris Saint-Germain and we were there for a quick season before leaving. That's when Matt took over. We then went to Valencia. We did it at Lazio. We went to PSV. Now, the thing what we did, right, is we went through teams like they were going out of fashion. Valencia, Lazio, PSV, Leeds. Now, Leeds was an interesting one. So early in the save, because obviously Matt started with Leeds. Porto. Now, Porto was we did it at Porto, but it was a tougher time, as you can see. Probably, and I think I wanted out of Porto, if I remember rightly, because we ended up going back to PSV so soon after leaving. Dortmund, our first stint at Dortmund. Now, this stint at Dortmund, biggest regret in my managerial career. We were only at Dortmund for less than 2 seasons, and we left. We didn't win the title. We had a tough time, and we left. Went back to Liverpool to restore old glories. We then went back to Paris Saint-Germain. We then took our first stint at Bayern Munich. We then took a run at Arsenal, back at Dortmund, into Milan. Went to Argentina to take River, Manchester United. I think River, we took 1 championship and left. So who knows? Maybe we might go back to Argentina one day, because we weren't in Argentina for very, very long. But we did win a title. Man United, Real Madrid, Dortmund again, Barcelona. Eintracht Azalast. I don't think we won a title there. I'm sure we didn't. I'd have to double check. Middlesbrough, Hertha Berlin, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, Antwerp, Vasco, Manchester United, Dortmund, Benfica. That was our first stint at Benfica. We didn't get them promoted. We got them promoted. We didn't win the title. They were in the second tier. We got them promoted and left for Derby. And of course, Derby. Derby. Jeez, man, that name hurts me. Sacked 3 months later due to poor results, which was inherited from the previous season. My own fuck up. I really fucked that up. We took on Udinese after that sacking. We were only out of work for 3 days. That was bizarre, because I think I was so disgusted. We applied and got it almost instantly. We got Udinese promoted and returned to PSV. PSV again. Manchester United. Napoli. Don't think we won the title with Napoli. I'm sure we didn't win the title with Napoli. Ajax. I do love Ajax. Bayern Munich. Barcelona. QPR. We took QPR from the second tier and got them promoted. We didn't win the title with QPR. Bayern Munich in 62. Scotland. We took that at the same time as Matt taking England. Notts County. Now we only had Notts County for a season, not even a season, and took over bottom of the table, and we got them a European place. Ajax and Dortmund, West Bromwich Albion. Now West Bromwich Albion was a similar sort of thing. We got them Champions League football. We didn't win them the title though. Benfica. Now Benfica was a rerun at Benfica, and that was a very successful run, it would be fair to say. Lokeren we took over in Belgium in the bottom tier for 1 season, got them promoted with a lot of money, and then we left. We left to go to Milan. Of course we did. Milan was what it was. We then left for Manchester United. Man United, we left for Mönchengladbach. Now, Mönchengladbach was a tough old time. We went on the list, of course, of Mönchengladbach. We didn't win the title. We left for Internacional of Brazil. We then left for Plymouth. Plymouth, we didn't win the title. It was European football for them. We then left for Cruzeiro for another stab at Brazil. And it was a much more successful stab as we left 2 years later to go to Roma for the first time in our history. Roma is where we're at, and a quick gander at our profile as we fast approach our birthday. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. What can you say? What can you say about our credentials as managers? Let's take a look now then at managerial stats. A little bit to the All Nations. So we know that I'm now, I think we looked at this on the previous update, Matt is down at 51. Let's take a look now then at manager points. So far, this is only this season, bear in mind. You can't really always get a really good reflection on that shit. Number of... okay, there we go. Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it, Matt? That is an interesting one. I didn't think. 54 then. Matt, you got some catch up to do. This is another competition, this is. Competition time. 54 against 43. We've both had one international role each. So, like on the three-man game, it accumulates all of them, but we know there's only one each. So, in theory, 42 for Matt, 53 for me. That's how many managerial jobs. So, they've not taken into account we've been to the same club. They've counted that as multiple times. So that's that. Longest period at a club. Well, for me, it's not going to be nowhere near the top. Excuse me. For Matt, there he is. Okay. Shortest period at a club. Okay, that's me. And Matt's right behind me on that. I've just fucking lost where I just completely lost where I was. 301, and Matt is 306. 392 days. Yeah, of course, that makes sense, actually. It does make sense. Okay. Number of cups won. Now, this is interesting, really, because you can see this on our managerial stats, but let's put it into perspective then. 113 against 106. They include all cups, which isn't a bit shit, to be honest with you. Total bit shit. Okay, number of leagues won. Well, this is close, isn't it? That's a lot closer. 56, 53. And the next person is Gary Andrews. How'd you like that? Actually, do you know what? Gary Andrews, right? He's 52 and he's got 8 titles. That's pretty fucking impressive, to be honest. Number of awards won. I mean, do we even look at awards? Because I certainly don't. Matt leading the way. Overall match record. That was always going to happen. It's looped. The match record will be so much, it's looped down. That's why that is like that. Number of players bought. This is probably going to loop as well. No, that hasn't looped, but that might be right. That's probably correct, actually. Bearing in mind we've got our limitations of transfers, but you've got to remember, right? If I've just signed 7 players and then I move club, I can sign another 7 players. It'll go down as 14. You know, so whilst we've got a limit of 7. That limit there doesn't reflect 7 per calendar year as such. It's every transfer that we've made. And that includes, I think you'll find, pre-arranged transfers, which don't count on ours, but will count on that. So, me leading the way there. Which is funny, really, but which makes sense because I've had more managerial jobs, so that does make sense. Number of players sold. Well, I think that was always going to be me, because I'm a bit of a bastard. So that's me leading the way there. Let's have a look at how I like to look at. They're obviously going to be older managers over here. Highest transfer fee paid. Now that's interesting that we don't even hold it. Shit, fucking hell. I don't even know what these. It's a shame I don't even know what these are. To be honest with you, I haven't got a clue what these deals are. It's quite interesting. Okay, highest transfer fee received. 49.5. I think I vaguely remember receiving that. And I think Matt does as well. Total transfer. This is going to have looped. Yeah, this is looped. Actually, it's looped for me. It hasn't for Matt. Because that could be about... I don't know, actually. No, I'd say it's more than that. We've been big clubs with a lot of money. And in one window spent a fortune. So I don't think that's genuine, in all honesty. And transfer received... That could be right. that could be about right. Matt's leading the way there. So that is our manager stats with me and Matt. Let me know what you think. Till next time from me, guys, take it easy.